I've been cutting pineapples, drawing pineapples, and even drowning pineapples for a whole week. Welcome to Smellomania, a perfume review channel where I have fun while analyzing perfumes and drawing what I smell. Today I'll be reviewing a beloved fragrance by many, Hacivat from the house of Nishane. And since I have a sample of Hacivat X, I'll throw this one in for comparison to the OG. Hacivat is an insanely powerful, eternal beast of a perfume released in 2017 and created by George Lee. But what does the name Hacivat mean? As always, I'm really curious to find out the meaning behind every word. Maybe full knowledge will allow me to understand the fragrance better. So, Hacivat, or Hacivat, is one of the main characters in a traditional Turkish shadow play. It's so fun that Nishane, the first Istanbul-based niche perfume brand, tried to connect their fragrances to their Turkish roots. Hacivat's other friend is Karagöz, just like the other perfume from Nishane. During a shadow play, artists cut out paper dolls, hide behind the scenes, and act out various scenes with the help of their shadows. Thank you, little fella, for your wonderful shadow play performance. It was truly intimidating. So, what is Hacivat composed of? The main ingredients that are reflected in the fragrance just perfectly are oak moss and pineapple. Of course, the composition is elevated and freshened up with a moderate dash of citrus notes, grapefruit, and bergamot, and grounded even further with dry timber wood, cedar wood, and patchouli. This is one of those rare occasions when I can confidently say that the perfume smells like what you would imagine it would smell like while looking at the notes only. We have this trio of pineapple, citrus notes, and oak moss. Now what happens from this merging of notes is really quite exciting. Hacivat is a beautiful pineapple-based creation. When someone says that there's a pineapple note in a perfume, one would immediately imagine a tropical, sweet and juicy, almost sticky smell. Add some coconut and you'll have yourself a delicious piña colada, or in general, a very girly, a very kawaii smelling fragrance. But this is not Hacivat's pineapple. Hacivat's pineapple is weathered, serious and skeptical. He's seen some serious stuff during his younger days. I think that he's a pineapple war veteran. He's grown old and no longer believes in all that happy-go-lucky nonsense that the younger baby pineapples are raving about. He's a stern fella. He ain't got no sweetness left in him, only bitter memories about his younger days. That's what that pineapple in Hacivat smells like to me. It's very masculine and definitely not that bright and juicy version of the fruit. Actually, I found it so interesting that pineapple can be so stern and not fruity at all. I even bought one pineapple for this video, and I can confidently say that the smell of Hacivat reminds me of the smell of that outside part of this pineapple. It wasn't quite ripe yet when I bought it, so it smelled a bit musty, a bit earthy. I've been testing Hacivat for the past few weeks. I've been spraying it on blotters and on my wrists regularly. One day, after a traditional spritz, I observed my husband getting visibly puzzled and somewhat unsettled. He started sniffing the air and his clothes. Is that the perfume you're testing? It's messing with my brain, he confessed. It turns out that Hacivat reminded him of a preppy businessman after a hard day's work. A standard citrusy cologne plus a standard male musk equals Hacivat. And I can definitely see where he's coming from with this analogy. Hacivat truly amplifies the wearer's masculinity. Even though it's a unisex fragrance, it will make you look and feel more masculine. Now let's compare Hacivat to Hacivat X. In 2023, Nishane re-released their 5 top-selling perfumes with the added X. The whole story behind this is that Nishane wanted to stay close to the original formula, but make the X version more unisex. In the case of Hacivat, they wanted to make it smell less masculine and more unisex. Have they succeeded? Yes. Hacivat X is a lot more unisex. However, they toned down the oak moss note so much that the stern and serious pineapple impression just completely disappeared. In fact, they changed the formula so much that the pine part is now almost completely gone, and we're left with just an apple. I'm really not a fan of comparing one fragrance to the other, simply because it raises even more questions and doesn't really answer the fundamental one. What does it really smell like? But I just have to say it. Hacivat X reminds me of Apple Brandy by Kilian. I've done a review some time ago on that fragrance and concluded that it smelled like a Greek god. Like Dionysus himself was sitting on a barrel of apple cider. So yes, Hacivat X smells a bit like a mix of apples and pineapples and does have that light, alcoholic beverage vibe. It also has a soft, marine, sea breezy touch. If I were to compare Hacivat to Hacivat X, I'd say that Hacivat is an old, musty and musky veteran pineapple. And Hacivat X is a miniature pineapple who ran away with his BBA, big beautiful apple girlfriend, on a boat off into the sunset. And of course, they've just opened a bottle of cider to celebrate the great escape. I have fallen in love with Hacivat during the last week of using it daily. It's truly a fragrance of high quality standards. It's a masterfully crafted sheep hoop perfume, and I'm absolutely astounded about its chameleon-like properties. As I've mentioned earlier, Hacivat is a perfect combination of 3 moods: fresh and zesty citruses, a serious pineapple, and dry oak moss. And I've been so excited to find out that these facets presented themselves quite randomly, as if one of them took the leading role and the others followed, while the next day the roles just shifted. One day during my morning practice, Hacivat felt so dry and so bitter. While the other day, when I was out in the cold, that stern veteran pineapple took the leading role. And while I was just relaxing after a long day, the citrusy aspect of bergamot and grapefruit decided to shine through. I guess the way the perfume unfolds really just depends on your temperature and the room temperature. No matter what part of the fragrance took the leading role, the main image I had in my head remained the same. I can confidently say that Hacivat took me to a prehistoric era, back to the age of dinosaurs. I imagined a serene landscape inhabited by peaceful herbivores. Only it was a somewhat alternate timeline, where instead of primordial pines, spruces and firs, there were only pineapple plants, and everything was mossy beyond imagination. My dinosaurs are walking on a sea of brittle moss, which would smell so dry and so earthy, perhaps even a bit musky. And the giant pineapple bushes, trees I've drawn are merely long-forgotten ancestors of that sweet and juicy fruit we all know and love today. These ancient relics aren't sweet. They're sharp, they're edgy and spiky. Maybe they're not even really edible. I'm so happy with this final drawing. It's so unexpected and it was so fun drawing dinosaurs and pineapples. I especially love how this Triceratops turned out to be. Of course, there's the Hacivat X drawing with baby pineapple's great escape. And the stern veteran pineapple. Maybe he's the one being eaten by my dinosaurs. And then there's that cute kawaii Japanese one. Bye.